Hello everyone and welcome to a very nice game from this year's Sinquefield Cup. This is round 4 and it is Wesley versus Rapport. It's a game that could have very great importance on the standings of the World Top 20 and also on who gets to play in the next FIDE Candidates tournament that will be held in 2024. But before we check out the game and before we check out what's happening with the ratings and who is currently in the Candidates tournament and everything around that topic, I would just like to mention that yesterday I received an email with one of the subscribers claiming that he is unsubscribing from the channel after some 5 years because I've started producing paid content. Now, what he meant by this is that he went to my channel and he checked out what videos were available on the channel, and he clicked on one video and the video said that it's only available to paid members. Now, this is not because I create videos for paid members, it's because I do allow a paid membership on this channel. But as I've said when I've allowed it, you will not be getting any special content for that, and you will still be getting everything for free as does anyone else. It's merely a means of supporting the channel if anyone wishes to do so. Now, what I've done is that now YouTube has a feature that when I make a video, sometimes I make a video and I schedule it. Okay, I schedule it for maybe it will be published in 2 hours or maybe in 3 hours. Maybe I want to publish a video, let's say at 2 p.m., one at 2 p.m. And if I'm making 2 videos, I'm going to publish one at maybe 2 p.m., one at 6 p.m. or 8 p.m. When I do this, sometimes, let's say it's 9 a.m. in the morning, and I said, okay, the video will be viewable by everyone at 2 p.m., some 5 hours from now. Paid members of the channel are able to watch the video immediately, and that's basically the only perk they are getting. But it's not hidden content, it's not paid content. Everyone is still getting the same amount of content for free. Only paid members of the channel get to see it maybe sometimes an hour sooner, sometimes 2 hours sooner, sometimes maybe even 5 hours sooner. I have no idea. When I make the videos, it differs from day to day. But just wanted to clear that up. If you see that something is maybe hidden behind a paywall, it's not really. It's going to be available like maybe in half an hour or an hour or 2 hours or whatever time of the day. Just wanted to clear that up in case some of you also happen to think that. So now that I've cleared that up, let's check out the game. So Wesley has the white pieces and he opens with pawn to c4. He goes for the English against Rapport, and Rapport goes for knight to f6. We have knight to c3, g6 and pawn to e4. We have pawn to d6 and pawn to d4. So the English opening, but now bishop to g7 and f3, transposing into the King's Indian defense with pawn to f3. Can't remember the name of that line. I know it like it's the. Let me just check. Yeah, the Saemisch variation. It's been a while since I've seen it. Couldn't remember the name. Yeah, the Saemisch variation. We have castles, and now knight g to e2. We have knight to c6, and okay, there are a lot of games in this exact same setup. Pawn to c5 or pawn to e5 are the more common moves here, even a6, but knight to c6 is still very strong. We have bishop to e3, we have a6, and now queen to d2. At some point, of course, we'll try to contest against the dark square bishop of blacks. And now a rook to b8 is what's usually played here. We have bishop to d7, and now rook to b1, preparing to advance the pawn all the way to b4. Pawn to h5 by Richard, and now pawn to b4 by Wesley. And now there are some games where pawn to e6 was played, but here we have knight to h7 by Rapport, and it is now as of move 10 that we have a completely new game. So okay, Wesley grabs more space in the center. He plays pawn to d5. It's a trade-off really, because he gives up the e5 square that Richard will be able to use, but he does get the d4 square for his knight. So you have to give something to get something. Knight to e5. We have knight to d4 and rook to c8. Now we have bishop to e2, preparing to castle, and now pawn to c5, striking in the center. D captures on c6 en passant. You could also capture with the b pawn, but then rook captures and maybe you move the queen. Maybe you double up on the c file, or maybe even triple up. So not something maybe that you want to allow. So d captures on c6, and now bishop captures on c6. We have rook to c1. b5 is also possible, but of course black will not capture. Black will just move the bishop, and now you kind of have to worry about your weird pawns being placed this way. So after bishop captures on c6, rook to c1, and now bishop back to d7. We have knight to d1, shifting the knight to b2 to help out with the defense of the c4 pawn, and pawn to b5 now by Richard. Knight to b2, g2, and this is where the magic starts happening. Knight captures on c4, knight captures on c4, pawn to e5 now, attacking the knight. Knight to b3, and now b captures on c4. We have bishop captures on c4, and Rapport now sacrifices the exchange with rook captures on c4. Now, if this was anyone other than Rapport, you know, from the world top 20, they would go bishop to b5, save their a6 pawn, and now everything gets traded off. Let's say captures, captures, captures. You're going to play captures here. Your b pawn controls the a pawn, so you don't have to worry about it for the moment, and the game continues. But Rapport always plays magical chess, and here we have rook captures on c4. Rook captures, and now bishop to b5. And I always mention this when Wesley is playing. Yes, Rapport is an incredible player. He always also tries to emulate Tal. He loves sacrificing. He loves wild possessions. But Wesley is a official random world chess champion, and maybe against him you wanna. You want to play a bit more calmly, but if you live dangerously in your heart, then of course it's very, very difficult to play calm moves. But okay, rook to c1, we have pawn to d5 now, okay, the d6 pawn is very weak here, and here his idea is that if Wesley plays e captures on d5, he can play e4 even, and now if f captures, queen to h4 with check will make it very, very problematic for white to defend with the bishop here, the queen attacking the rook. It's a really nice position for black. But Wesley says, nope, I'm going to capture with the queen. Queen captures on d5, and now still queen to h4 with check, g3, and queen to f6. Now putting pressure on the f3 pawn. King to f2, and now rook to d8, attacking the white queen, and now planning rook to d3 to put pressure on the bishop and also paralyze the bishop, as the f3 pawn will be in a lot of danger here. And Wesley has two options here. He could put the rook to c5, or he could the queen to c5, or he could put the queen to b7. c5 not the best, as you allowed the dark square bishop into the game with tempo. So queen to b7 was played, and now Rapport plays rook to d3. And here Wesley has to be very careful. What is Rapport's idea? Well, we already said, let's say he plays rook h to d1. It's your only piece not doing anything. The idea is knight to g5. That's the idea. So the knight was completely out of the game here. Here it's very active, putting pressure on the f3 pawn. And if you capture, then rook and queen are going to go after that f3 pawn. So you don't really have a good way of playing for any advantage here with white. You have to settle for a draw here with queen to c8 check, and after bishop to f8 you have to capture on d3. That's all you have. You have to allow queen captures on f3 check, king g1, now bishop will capture on d3, and now you have to go for bishop captures on g5, bishop captures on e4, threatening checkmate, and now queen to h3 defending, but this will now end up in a nice perpetual where it will of course end in a draw. But after rook to d3, queen to b6 was played. Wesley sees right through that, and now he puts pressure on the black queen and also defends his bishop on e3. And what can Rapport do? If he moves the queen, let's say to e7, then we have rook h to d1, the move that wasn't possible a move ago, now very much is. Rook captures on d1, rook captures, and let's say queen captures on b4. And okay, equal pawns, but and the white king might be a little bit weak, but not too much, and the rook will of course prevail against the lesser piece. So after queen to b6, Rapport says, all right, we're gonna trade. Queen captures, we have bishop captures, and now knight to g5, again getting the knight into the game with tempo, and now even pawn to h4 by Wesley, allowing the capture on f3. And what do you capture with? Well, doesn't really matter. Rapport capture with the knight, but if he captures with the rook, but if he captures with the knight, then we play rook h to d1, and after a trade here, let's say captures, where is the knight going? That's the question. The d4 square guarded 3 times, so you're not going there. You can only go to h2 with the idea of shifting the knight over to g4, but now let's say knight to c5, a4 is coming, and it's just it's always gonna be a white up the exchange, and white will win this game. So after pawn to h4, Rapport played rook captures on f3. This comes with check, and now after king to g2, and now it looks a bit weird because your knight is hanging, and if you move the knight, your rook is hanging. So what was Rapport's idea here? Well, he sacrifices the second exchange. He plays rook captures on b3, in for a penny, in for a pound. A captures on b3, and now knight captures on e4. So what's his compensation here? Well, he does have one pawn for the two sacrificed exchanges, and he does have the bishop pair. As you know, the bishop pair could be incredibly strong, but Wesley plays rook h to e1. Attacks the knight, you have to move it, knight to d2, and now rook to c8 with check. Here, the position repeated a few times, rook to c7, king to g8, rook to c8 check, king to h7, and now rook to c7. King to g8, but now, of course, Wesley did not repeat. He does not want to draw this game. He played rook to e3. He defended his b3 pawn, and he was in this position on move 37 that Richard Rapport resigned the game, as there is nothing more to be done here. The problem is the knight is trapped. There's no way to save the knight. To give you an example, let's say play something with black, as there really isn't all that much to play. Let's say get the king into the game, or a rook to c2. The knight can only move back. You're going to play a knight to b1. You're going to attack the knight once again with rook e1. The knight has to go to a3, attack the rook, but now you move the rook with check, and after the king moves, you play rook to a1. You've trapped the knight, and now you just capture it. That's pretty much that's all there is to the position. So that's why, of course, after rook e3, Rapport resigned, and a very nice victory for Wesley. And what I wanted to show you is this. This is the rating list, the live rating list as of yesterday. Even though this is a game from round 4 yesterday, round 5 was played. But one other important game happened, and that is Alireza Firuza versus Levon Aronian, where Aronian defeated Alireza. And you can see, out of 22 people here, Alireza has dropped the most points. Alireza and the Rapport, as you can see here, that the Rapport and Wesley are almost equally rated. Rapport being down only 1 point. That was at the beginning of this month of November, but he's now down 21 points, and Alireza is down 21.3 points. As there are 2 more spots that are available for the FIDE Candidates Tournament. One will be decided with the newly created FIDE circuit, and one will be decided via highest rating as of January 2024. So top is Magnus Carlsen. He's not going to be playing in the candidates as far as we know. Then Fabi, he's already qualified. Hikaru, he just qualified via the FIDE Grand Prix. Then Ding, of course, he is the champion. Yanni Pomnishi, he is qualified already, as he is the former challenger. And now we have Wesley who has overtook Alireza Firuza as the highest rated player. And if he can keep this until January 2024, when it will be decided, he will get that spot in the next FIDE Candidates Tournament. Of course, it's very close. It's 27.56, 27.55. But you never know. But others have a chance as well. Anish 27.53, and it's going to be a great fight via the FIDE circuit as well, as I think. Well, let me just check. I don't want to trick you guys or anything. Let me just check who is currently leading. Yeah. Sorry about that. Yeah, Fabi is leading, but he is already qualified. And then you have Anish Giri with 84 points in the FIDE circuit, Gukesh with 79, and Wesley also with 78. So Wesley has a great chance of qualifying either the FIDE circuit or either via the top rating from January 2024. So we'll see how it goes for him as the tournament is still being played. Both him and Alireza are playing in this tournament, and it's only been 5 rounds. So we'll see quite a lot depending on this, not just the who wins the Sinquefield Cup. So yeah, that's the game. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Another classical game where Wesley just plays immaculate chess, and the Rapport, who plays Rapport chess, he sacrificed not 1 but 2 exchanges, and in the end, it didn't really do all that much. But it was a really tough position, a poisonous one, and one simple misstep from Wesley, and it could have gone in completely the other way around. So yeah, once again, really hope you guys enjoyed it. Hopefully I've also cleared that up regarding the paid content on the channel. There is none. It's merely, for the supporters of the channel, maybe get to see a video like this one that I'm uploading. Maybe the supporters will see it like half an hour or an hour before everyone else gets to see it. So it's not a big deal, but sort of a small thank you. But yeah, I would like to thank David Gasparian, Desert Sand Software, More Ding Games, thank you, Gigi, and Mr. Never Surrender for your contribution to my channel. Thank you a lot, I really appreciate it. As usual, you can check 2 of my previous videos here. Thank you for watching, and I will see you soon, continuing to check up on your wonderful suggestions and whatever else happens in the chess world. So thank you all. I will see you soon, and have an excellent rest of your day.